Hey guys, how's it going? Today I thought I'd bring you a video about Trusox. It's not exactly a brand new product, but it's one that I haven't done a video on. There are a couple on YouTube that I've seen, videos about the product and how they perform and what they do, etc. But I was going to bring you my own take on them. They're a fantastic product. They really work extremely well. So this video will just be a bit about what they are, how do they perform, where you can get them, that sort of thing, and I'll even do a bit of a tutorial on how you wear them to get the best effect out of them. So that's what this video is about, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So Trusox are a soccer-specific product, I guess. I mean, you can wear them with for whatever you want, but they definitely have the most popularity in European football. So what they are essentially is it's a sock with rubber pads, anti-slip pads that they've lined on the outside and on the inside of the sock. So essentially when you wear them, you get this grippiness on both the inside, on your foot, and on the outside, the part that's touching your shoe, so that your foot does not slip and slide in your shoe when you're changing directions and running and that sort of thing. So they'll work very, very well, I suppose, with any sort of sport that's played on grass, like rugby or American football and obviously soccer. So they'd work very, very well with sports like that. But I suppose if you wanted to, you could wear them in pretty much any sport, just to keep your foot locked in place, and you get that higher level of performance if your foot's really locked down in your shoe and you don't get that slippiness that could cause you a, split-second loss of time just because your foot slips and that sort of thing. So that's essentially what they are. And this is my first pair that you can see here. Here I have a brand new one I haven't opened yet. But I've had these ones for a while, and they truly, truly, truly are amazing. I'm not just saying that because I'm doing a video about them. They really, really, really work well. I was very impressed with them the first time I wore them. I was a little skeptical too. I wonder, okay, fine, how much can they do? How well can they actually perform? And to my surprise, they worked absolutely fantastic. They really, really are worth the money. I know they're a bit expensive. I'll get into that in a second, but they really, really are worth the money. Just to get into it a little bit more about them, you can get them in 3 versions. There's a cushion version, which I have here, these ones as well. There's a thin version, and then there's a full-length soccer sock version if you'd like. So essentially the full-length soccer sock is obviously, you get the bottom, same as the Trusox. This is the crew cut version, but you get this built into a full-length soccer sock, which I have here, and I'll show you this in a second. But you can buy them in a full-length version, and from here down you get the True Sock, and up there it's just a normal soccer sock. Or you can get the crew cut version like this, cushion, or the crew cut version in a thin version. The thin version is essentially the very, very same. Everything that you see on this sock that's red is the exact same on the thin version. The only difference is the white base. And on the cushion version, it's essentially a double layer of cotton, nylon, and spandex. That's what they're made out of. So they've doubled the layer of the white part with the pads, just so that you get a thicker base, a more comfy feel, a little bit of cushion when you step on them and step in them, and that's essentially what the cushion version is. So you can see hope you can see it. The white part is the transition from the red to the white there's a bit of a gap. You can see the material thicken, especially right there. So I hope you can see that, but you can see how the gap, that transition right there is thin, and then it gets significantly bulkier in the white part, and that's because they've doubled the amount of material to make that cushion version. So that's where you can get them in. They come in different sizes as well. You can get small, medium, and large, I believe. The medium and large are the most common. I have the medium. My foot's not insanely big. And the medium version runs from men's 7 to 9.5. So that one works well for me. The large, you could get the large if you like, but that means you're going to be pulling them that much higher up on your leg. And I'll show you that later. I'm going to do a tutorial version on how to wear them, so you'll see that in a second. So that's essentially the Trusox, the versions, how they're made. The performance is absolutely fantastic. And let's just get on to pricing and where you can get them. You can pretty much find them on any soccer website, soccer-specific website. I got mine on soccer.com. Shipping was fantastic. Price is, price is price. They're fairly expensive for a pair of socks, but trust me, they're worth it. They really, really are worth it. If you have, they're $39.99 American, which I know it's a lot of money, almost ridiculous for a pair of socks. But if you have $40 lying around and you're interested, you really like soccer, you're interested in trying out a pair, do it. You won't be disappointed. That was my mentality going into it. I said, you know what, let's give it a try. I have $40 that I'm willing to try. I play soccer enough to wear them, and I decided to do it, and I really do not regret it at all. As you can see, I went to get a second pair because of it. So that is the reason I recommend them. They're absolutely fantastic. They work incredibly well, and they are definitely worth that purchase if you're really into soccer. So without anything else to say much about them, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, but I'm going to move on now to a tutorial version. So I'm going to show you how you should wear them, and we'll get right into that. Alright, so when you get on to actually wearing the Trusox, you're going to need a couple of things. So obviously you need a pair of Trusox, which I have here. You're going to need a pair of scissors, and if you choose, a roll of tape. That's optional, that's up to you. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to take your team soccer sock, okay, so as you can see I have one here, and you're going to cut the foot off. So you don't need from here down, you're going to get rid of that. You just want to keep the sleeve, you just want to keep that part, because that's what you're going to wear on top of your shin pads. So I'm not going to cut this pair, but I do want to show you one thing. This is just my recommendation on where to cut soccer socks, where to cut the foot off at least. Most soccer socks now, pretty much by any company, whether it's Umbro, Nike, Adidas, whatever, there's some sort of transition along the sock. You can see there's a different material. It's tighter in certain areas than others, so it's snug, it fits, it doesn't fall down over your shin guard. So what I would recommend is on this sock you can see that you have the foot, and then you have this transition area just above the ankle here that runs from there to about there. I hope you can see that. I'm trying to get you the best view that you can. And that's essentially just a snug fitting area. The stitching is different, as you can see, and that allows you to, put your shin guard above it, have a snug feel around your ankle, and so that the shin guard doesn't fall down. But I would recommend keeping that area, right? That's quite useful around your ankle. So I recommend taking your scissors, and you want to cut from from this stitching pattern right here. You want to get rid of that. So you get rid of this side, and you keep all this, because you still want this tight fitting around your ankle, and you want all the rest of the sock. So don't cut up here, don't cut randomly in the middle. I'd suggest cutting right along that stitching pattern, and I have a pair done over here, as you can see on this pair. That's exactly what I did. I have the sock here, this is the sleeve, and you can see I've kept where that Adidas logo is. I've kept that stitching pattern there, because that is nice and snug around the ankle, and it allows for a bit more of a cleaner cut. I haven't done anything to re-stitch them after. As you can see, it's not that bad. I've had this cut for a while, and they've lasted very, very well. The threads aren't pulling loose. They're not, I don't have to cut away a new thread. They're not unraveling. They're staying there quite well, and they don't really unstitch, and that's because of where I cut the sock. So I highly, highly recommend cutting below this ankle stitching part, throwing away the foot, and keeping away the rest. So that is the cut sock. So essentially you'll need that, you'll need the Trusox, and you'll need a roll of tape if you so choose. So as you can see, this is another point I'd like to make. Most leagues now require you to have the same color all the way throughout. They don't want you to do, for example, I'm going to do this in the video just to show you how it looks, but they don't want you to do a red sock on the bottom and a white sock, because they have different colors and it could interfere with the team. Also, your tape is supposed to be the same color as your socks, so that's why I have some red athletic tape here, because when I play with my team, our home colors are red. I have a white roll as well, and I can use the tape here, tape up the seam. I've got the red team sock, the red Trusox, and my red colored tape, and it's all the same color, no problem at all. So if you keep that in mind, please. If you're going to buy a pair of Trusox, don't just get a random blue if you play in green and yellow. Get a color that works for you. They come in all sorts of colors. I failed to mention that before, so just a reminder, they come in almost every color possible. Get the colors that you need. If your team's white and blue, you get a white one, you get a blue one. If your team's red and white, you get a white one and a red one. Just make sure you get the color that works for you, because you don't want to run into a problem where referees are telling you, you can't wear them. It's not the same color. You want to make sure that you don't run into that problem. Just keep it the same color. It makes everybody's lives easier. So we'll move on now to what they look like on feet, on my legs. So I'll show you how they work, and we'll get right into that. Alright, so we're back. We're going to go into the tutorial part. So as you can see, I'm going to put the socks on here. So once you get your Trusox on, right, I was going to mention this before. When you go as far as sizing, I personally don't like my crew socks going all the way up here. This is just personal preference, but I like them to be a reasonable length. They're not too high, they're not too low. And that's important for me just because it gets in the way with my shin guard if they're, you know, too high. So this is where I would recommend taking advantage of the different sizes. Don't just get large, I'll fit me no matter what, because you might not like you might not like having the sock run up to here, you know. So I personally like it down here where they are. They fit well, and that just works well for me. So I'm gonna put a red sock on one leg and a white one on the other, just so you can see the difference, and I'll show you how I like to do it. So we'll get into it right away. So I'll put the red sock on. So as you can see, I've cut the foot off. You just slip it through. It's basically a leg sleeve now. So just get that on. So you can pull that on, and as you see, I keep the ankle part here, so that's a good amount of cushion for me. So I keep that stitching. So I have that one. I'll put the white one on the other leg. Just put your foot right through. So there you go, you've got that one on now. So you can see what it looks like. So I've got the white sock on one leg, the right one on the other. And it's important that you have all the same color. Obviously, as you can see, this one, you can barely notice the difference, right? It's all red, it's the same color, looks like one sock. So this one, some referees would probably give you a hard time for this, because you've got white, you've got red. So you want to avoid that. You would want an all white or all red, as you can see on this side. So get into the next part. So your shin guards. I wear a sleeve, I guess, made by Quick Goal, just to help keep my shin guard in place so it doesn't slide around, it doesn't get in the way of everything. So you put that on first, on both legs. So I got my sleeves on. Put that here. Next is the shin guard. Here's my shin guards. As you can see, they're not very big, but that's what I like to wear. So you put that on, make sure that fits comfortably, right? And I like, as you can see, I don't like my shin guard getting in the way of the sock here. So I hope you can see this part, but that's partly why I have the medium versions, because the larger versions I'd have to pull up and they'd probably go about to here, and that would just be annoying for me. I don't particularly like that. So they sit right at the top. I overlap my sleeve with my sock just a little bit. This is very, very thin, so it doesn't get in the way. You barely feel the difference. And then you just pull this sock up over top. And there you go. You got your shin guard on. Now, like I said, you can use a roll of tape if you like to tape up the gap here. I usually do, but make sure it's all white, all black, whatever. It's got to be the same color. So you'll see it better on this leg. So I'll put this in, shin guard on, get that sleeve up. I like to pull the sleeve just over my Trusox a little bit, and then my soccer sock on top of that. So pull those up. And there you go, ready to go. So that is what it looks like. Now, again, you can tape that up. I usually do. Just to give it a bit of, you know, a little bit more seamlessness. It doesn't get in the way, and it also helps. I like taping it right here. I'll put a bit of tape and it keeps my shin guard up and in place and doesn't get in the way as well. So that is what it looks like, as you can see. Basically, one seamless gap from your shin guard all the way down, and that's what it looks like. So that's essentially how you wear your Trusox, and now you don't have any material in the way between your foot and between your shoes. So that is what they look like, and that's it for this video. So as you can see, that's how they work. They work extremely, extremely well. They don't get in the way, and they work fantastic. So I really recommend going to get a pair if you are into soccer, if you're into, just better performance all around. Get yourselves a pair of Trusox because they work absolutely amazingly. And that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe already. Leave a like, and stay tuned for the next video. Take care.